Hi guys. Today we're going to work on some chord tones, arpeggios, for a tune we learned a while back, a standard tune called All the Things You Are. The first best step would be to get a book, download or buy a book or a sheet music page for the tune with the melody and with the chord changes. Because we're going to be working through the chord changes, playing an arpeggio for each of the chords in the tune. So the first chord is actually going to be F minor 7, and we're going to work on fingering for that. Our first finger is going to be aligned with the 8th fret. So I'm on the 5th string, 8th to 11th, 4th string is the 10th, 3rd string is 8th to 10th, 2nd string is the 9th, 1st string is the 8th to 11th. It's an F minor 7 arpeggio. The next chord in the tune is B flat minor 7. We could just take this and go all the way down here, same fingering. Okay. But in terms of proximity and ease of use, for the second chord, B flat minor 7, it would be best to stay closer to the first chord. So when we go to our B flat minor 7, we're actually going to do this one with the root on the 6th string. 6th string is 6th fret to 9th. The 5th string is the 8th fret. 4th string is the 6th to the 8th. 3rd string is the 6th fret. 2nd string is the 6th to the 8th frets. Okay, so that's B flat minor 7. First two arpeggios. We have, the tune has a measure of F minor 7. Then it has a measure of B flat minor 7. Then it has a measure of E flat 7. So we're going to jump down with the pinky onto the 5th string, 6th fret, and we're going to play this shape. 5th string, 4th string, these are both on the 3rd string. This one is on the 2nd string. Okay, so this E flat 7 arpeggio. Next chord is A flat major 7 for one measure. We're going to the 6th string, 4th fret, and we have 4th fret. Now on the 5th string, 3rd to 6th, 4th string is 5th to 6th, 3rd string is the 5th, 2nd string is the 4th, and the 1st string is 3rd to 4th. So here's the whole A flat major 7 arpeggio. Next chord in the tune is D flat major 7. Of course, you could always just move this up to D flat, which would have been the 9th fret. Same fingering. But for ease of use again and for practicality, after playing the chord we just finished, A flat major 7, we're going to move over and have our D flat root on the 5th string, 4th fret. So the D flat major 7 arpeggio now is, I'm on the 5th string, 4th fret. The 4th string has 3rd fret and 6th. 3rd string has the 5th fret and 6th. 2nd string has the 6th fret. And the 1st string has the 4th fret and the 8th. So we're on a D flat major 7 chord, and here's the arpeggio. Sorry, go back again, D flat major 7. Okay, continuing in the tune now, we have one measure made up of two different chords, D minor 7 to G7. Technically, we're going to play a few notes out of each chord. Really what you could do in this case, if it's a measure of D minor 7 for 2 beats going to a measure if it's a measure of D minor 7 going 2 beats and then G7 for 2 beats, you could really just stay on one or the other. So while that whole measure is going by, you could just stay on D minor 7. Or, on the other hand, you could just stay on the other chord that's in the measure, which is G7, and just do that whole G7 for the entire measure. Okay, so here we go with D minor 7. It's the same form that we used earlier for the first chord. Okay, we're going to put it down here. The root is on the 5th fret. And we're going to go to G7. Okay, so again, the D minor 7. We're only playing a few notes because it's only lasting for 2 beats. And the G7 likewise, we're only playing a few notes. Next chord is actually C major 7 for 2 measures. Sorry. So let's take it from the top. We've just worked our way through the first 2 lines of the tune. Okay, so F minor 7, we're reviewing now from the beginning. B flat minor 7 is the second chord. E flat 7 is the next chord. A flat major 7. D flat major 7. D minor 7, going to G7, going to C major 7. Okay, so that's the first 2 lines, or in other words, it's the first 8 measures of the tune, All the Things You Are. We're working on soloing ideas. What we're doing is we're learning the chord tones for every single chord that comes up in the tune. I've looked at a lot of theory books and books and videos and things on how to improvise and how to solo over tunes. And there's a lot of talk about scales. Scales are very useful. You have to know your scales. What I find really makes your improvisations and your solos sound more cohesive and more impressive and just more musical is when you use the chord tones for each chord. So that's why we're going over the arpeggios. An arpeggio is really just playing the notes that are in a chord, but you're playing them one at a time. So recapping again, we've done the first 2 lines of the tune. F minor 7, B flat minor 7, E flat 7, A flat major 7, D flat major 7, D minor 7 going to G7, C major 7. Okay, so you know, naturally when you do solo, when you improvise over the tune, you're not just going to be reciting the arpeggios from the bottom up, note after note after note in order, because that'll just sound mechanical, which is how this sounds right now. But it's kind of like learning an alphabet and getting fluent in the alphabet and thoroughly memorizing the alphabet, with the ultimate goal being that you can write stories or write a sentence or write a poem. So the first order of business is to find out where all of these notes are for each of these chords, and that's what we're working on. So we essentially just did the first A section of All the Things You Are. So see if you can memorize these arpeggios. You know, there's basically a few different types. One is the minor 7. Another one is the dominant 7. And another one is the major 7. We're going to run up against another type of chord later in the tune, but we're going to save that for next time. So have fun, try to memorize these, work on the fingerings, and see if you can hear the chords going by. You know, like if you just... Okay, so you can actually kind of hear the harmony, even though there's no chords being strummed. It's almost like a horn approach where you're spelling out the chords one note at a time, but the listener can still sense the chord changes going by. Anyway, have fun and work on that. And if you like what we're doing, tune in next time. Think about subscribing on YouTube. Maybe give a like. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free. Okay, have fun. Bye-bye.